21% said their agencies hadn't started to plan.
You could change the federal retirement system. The Chief of Naval Operations says all the Navy's investigations into
The Office of Personnel Management wants to know what federal employees think of their benefits.
Welcome to the Federal Leaders Playbook, where high performers in the public sector can push their career forward by learning about the trends, innovation, and technology advancing agency performance. We're kicking off Season 1 by exploring the world of IT service management. We're talking about how federal IT organizations are evolving to manage budget cuts, security breaches, and ever-increasing service demands. Here we go.
Okay, welcome everyone. We're excited to have back on the show, Brian Shealey. Always excited to have you here, Brian.
Thank you very much. I appreciate being here. Why does shadow IT exist? Well, the concept of shadow IT is because it's IT that doesn't have a light on it. It's happening in a back room somewhere is the whole idea of it being named that. And to me, it's what it is it's, again, back to that connotation of, well, the IT organization within this agency doesn't function as a service provider, as a solution provider. They're the IT department.
Right, they're not listening.
Right, they're not listening.
Yeah.
And where does that come from? Well, I think that comes from the mindset being that we are a government agency. And I think that the very successful projects that I've witnessed over the last, I'll call it decade, have been where you've had really good leadership in the departments, the IT departments, and people that have looked at commercial industry and internalized it and thought, how can we do better as a government agency by bringing in forward-thinking ideas? And Carrie, you know exactly, there was some really forward thinking on a couple projects we worked on, and kudos to those people. And the result being, they had a vision for an outcome, and whether or not they hit the pie in the sky outcome or not, I would say that they certainly, with an investment, were able to drive the agency forward by modernizing way before the term modernization became as pervasive as it is now, by bringing these common concepts, simplifying access to services, being a solution provider. So when people came to one of the people that I think we're thinking of, that man would say, all right, well, we're going to solve this problem, and we're going to figure out how to do it within their time frame as best we can, within a budget that they tell us, and we're going to deliver for them. And we're not going to say no, we're going to say yes. And that it's a very impressive thing to see, and I don't think we have enough of it. So back to the shadow IT thing, I think if these large department and agency IT departments stop thinking that, oh, well, we're just an IT group, and you start thinking of, well, in this day and age, technology is driving everything. It really is, and that's not going to change. It's only going to become more prevalent. I think that what we can find is we can get to incentive-driven ways of actually delivering for these organizations that no longer have to do it in the back room. They can come to you as the service provider and say, I have this project, I need to solve this problem, and know with confidence that you are going to do your best to do that. That's what I think can happen. And then you guys want to talk politics now? Or?
No, I like it. I mean, yes, no.
No.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's Tom's weekend podcast.
Tom's garage politics.
But that's my thought is, think like a service provider. How do these large service providers, for-profit service providers, whether you're for-profit or not, fee for service in an agency sake, it doesn't matter. If you had $100 to spend on something, we can't just keep spending 102.
Yeah.
Eventually you go bankrupt. So now everybody thinks that the U.S. government will never go bankrupt. That's certainly debatable. But I think that what we can do is in the IT department driving it is what the big benefit there is if they can deliver as a solution provider by, number one, starting with a change in mindset, and number two, then delivering and building themselves up. And building structures that enable them to scale as a service provider, as a solution provider. I think what will happen is the concept of shadow IT goes away, because then they know that, well, if I'm dealing with technology, I'm going to go to the guy that's a specialist in technology, or the group that's a specialist in technology, which is our service provider or service delivery department or IT department. And I think that mindset is the first step. And then down the road, what will happen is a much more efficient agency altogether.
Sounds like the ITSM evolution is happening.
Yeah, I think that it may be. The service delivery evolution.
Or revolution.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, fascinating.
Yeah, so key concepts that I've captured as part of this session are alignment of business and IT. The same mind frame just goes across the business and automating business processes, HR and facilities and so forth. That one-stop shop concept of being able to have a centralized portal to request these types of services, having solutions that can provide that. The IT groups, we should empower more of this shadow IT that's going on. I think that's going to look at having IT more as that service, which will enable us to provide services in a timely fashion.
Thank you, Aaron. Brian,
Thanks for
thank
having
you
me.
again.
Yeah.
Always interesting.
It's great.
Always a pleasure
Great to come
talking to
back
you.
down here today and do this again. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks.
If you're interested in today's discussion, we invite you to read our show note and download additional free tools and resources at federalleadersplaybook.com. To learn more about Acuity or to contact any of us directly, visit Acuity's website at myacuity.com.
Thanks for listening to the Federal Leaders Playbook. Check out our next episode, subscribe, and visit federalleadersplaybook.com for more great content. See you next time.